Hi, I'm Shirley with Shirley's Journeys, and today my video is the third part of a series of our Christmas markets tour to Austria, Germany, and Switzerland. So far we have visited Vienna, Salzburg, Munich, Oberammergau, and Innsbruck. We only had one night in Innsbruck, and this morning we boarded our bus to go to Lucerne with a side trip into the small country of Liechtenstein. Last night I watched the driver washing this bus and getting it ready for today. This is the day our seat rotation system for the trip brings me to the front row. Great view, but rainy. So much for a perfectly clean view, but it's not going to dampen my day. With Trafalgar, you book a tour that includes city tours in every city and some optional tours along the way. It's a really good balance because you can pay for your full tour with Trafalgar and you don't have to decide for sure about those optional tours until you get on board the tour. So that's nice because you're not sure how you're going to feel with jet lag at the beginning of the trip or how tired you might be toward the end of the trip and what the weather's going to look like for some of these particular experiences. So it's nice to be able to wait just a little bit. Plus it's fairly good for budgeting as well. You can pay for the bulk of your trip up front when you pay off your tour, and then you can plan to pay for these other things while you're on tour. This morning, Gerwin comes through the bus to collect payment on those optional experiences that we have enjoyed throughout the week. Payment is made by credit card. We pass through several tunnels and cross the border into Liechtenstein. Our motor coach parks in an area where we have access to free public toilets here in the capital city of Vaduz. There's ice skating available, and several people are out skating this morning. We see the castle on top of the hill. We will not make it closer to the castle during our brief stop here, though. Instead, we enjoy the sunshine and clear skies and go for a walk to see what we can see. They seem to have some interesting sculptures and displays. This horse looks like it has been in battle, and I don't really know what the artist was trying to convey here. There's a model of the castle, and from the end of this pedestrian area, I see a church and city hall. Walking back to where I started, I stopped to do a little shopping. Had success here in Liechtenstein, was able to find my postcard. They sold me a stamp right at the souvenir shop and told me where the post box was. Then I find 3 more horses before making my way back to the bus. Our next and final stop on the tour is for Lucerne, Switzerland, where we will stay 2 days. We arrive in the city and it is definitely larger than Vaduz, Liechtenstein. Up ahead is the train station. Our driver plans to drop us off in the city for a little bit of an orientation before we go to check into our hotel. Gerwin leads us to the Lion Monument. The inscription says that it is in praise of the loyalty and bravery of the Swiss Guard. Great selfie spot, and there are public restrooms in the little building. We make our way to a place in the city where is the meeting place for our bus. We're given a little bit of free time with directions to meet back at this point. Gerwin points out Casa Grande, which is a souvenir shop where we can find Swiss Army knives, and they offer free engraving on them. The perfect gift for our grandchildren to get them a Swiss Army knife from Switzerland with their name on it. I was really curious about the McDonald's. They have an ordering kiosk like we see some here, and the big tasty combo meal is 1930 Swiss francs for the hamburger, fries, and soft drink. Some of our group stayed in town to explore while most of the rest of us did an optional cruise on Lake Lucerne. The boat was docked just a short distance away from here, so we walked. I was a little hesitant about deciding on the lake cruise very far in advance, but the weather app says it is 45 degrees Fahrenheit with a feels like of 52 and sunny. We walked through a Christmas tree market on the way. And there's our boat. Actually, we walked through one boat to board our boat. It is a double-decker. The top deck is open for fully unobstructed views and all but a couple of people headed straight upstairs. It promises to be a gorgeous day on Lake Lucerne. We see homes, impressive mansions, monuments, but my favorite view was the mountain with the sun trying to hide behind it. After the cruise, we were able to check into our hotel with free time for the evening. There are 3 restaurants at this hotel, but we opted to go explore downtown where we could see all the lights at night and to find a restaurant while we were out. This was a great choice. Lucerne is very walkable. Italian sounded really good to us, and we chose Restaurant Montrose right on the waterfront. We were eating pretty early and were the first guests of the evening, but by the time we finished, the lower floor was really filling up. My husband ordered the penny aurora, and I had the spaghetti carbonara. I believe that carbonara was the best carbonara I have ever put in my mouth. We spent the next couple of hours strolling along the waterfront, looking at the lights and walking along the bridges. The old pedestrian bridge is definitely worth a stroll. Then we explored the train station and walked through the Christmas market behind it. The next morning, we booked an optional experience to go to the top of Mount Pilatus. This was another add-on I wasn't sure about. I mean, what if it's rainy, or what if it's cloudy, and if there's not good views on the top of the mountain, would it be even worth going? But we checked the weather again, and it looked like weather was going to cooperate very well, so this was a go. Gerwin purchased the tickets at the ticket booth on our behalf, and we waited for them to open. They load some of the cars on the cable before they actually open for business, and we see that first cable car as it leaves the station. We glide above homes and businesses below. We start to see a little snow on the ground below. We pass through one station where some people will get off, but Gerwin had told us in advance not to get off here. We pass above a ropes course and another building which looks like a restaurant or a lodge. We're about to enter a second station where we will get off. There are definitely some gorgeous views from here. From this station, we will board another, larger cable car which accommodates our entire group and then some. It will take us to the very top of the mountain. I'm fortunate to get a seat where I have an unobstructed view out the window. There are a few seats, but most people are standing. At the very top is a visitor center. This is a view of the larger cable car as it's coming into the docking station here at the top. Gerwin points out where things are located. There is actually a hotel up here. Here's a hands-on station with erector sets and a display model of the cable car system. A display of some of the indigenous animals. Downstairs is Dragon World with interactive murals on the walls. And there's a video room about the construction. There's a dragon trail that winds all along the outer edge of the mountain. I can just imagine a dragon wandering these paths and peeking out at the various openings to keep an eye on the town below and ready to attack unsuspecting residents. There's just enough time for a short break for hot tea and a view before it's time to go back down the mountain. We get to soak up the views from this level, and I get a chance to talk with Gerwin about our trip and how much we've enjoyed our tour. He says we had a very fortunate day with the weather and the views, but that even the cloudy days offer an unforgettable experience riding the cable cars through the clouds. We make the final trek to the station below, and at one point I see a supply tram come by. We say goodbye to the baby dragon guarding the tram station and board our bus to go to the Swiss countryside. And what a beautiful countryside it is. Along the drive, Gerwin hands each of us a chocolate bar, and I use this opportunity to charge my phone. We're going back up in elevation again, and the landscape changes to a perfect one for our next experience, a horse and carriage ride through a typical rural community. This is the perfect little town for a snow skier's paradise. It has a ski lift, and we saw several skiers in town, some cross-country and some coming down the slopes. Our carriage ride ended at the owner's farm, and the owner greeted us. She explained how a typical Swiss farm is run.
My husband and I, we run the farm for more than 30 years, and because we are a typical farm for the mountains, I have to explain what it is when I say a typical farm.
We got to say hello to the cows, and then we were invited in for a snack. Her husband dished up 2 different cheese treats and heated up a cheese wheel and scraped it onto toasted bread. We also had brownies and hot punch. We're getting ready for our farewell dinner, and it's here at a farm. We're going to tour their barn and look around a little bit before we have dinner. It is a typical farm, much like I might see in Tennessee with chickens running around, and this is our second herd of cows in one day to get up close and personal with, but the first time I've ever seen a cow back scratcher. Dinner is in the farmhouse. We receive a list to let us know that we can order 2 drinks with the meal and tea or coffee after the meal. Dinner tonight included beef from the farm, mixed vegetables, and potatoes. Not really sure what the dessert was, but it was pretty tasty. When we got back to our hotel, we went to the Christmas market near the Franciscan church. It was about a 5-minute walk from our hotel and was lit up so pretty at night. This is our last market of the tour, and I knew I wanted to soak up a little more Christmas cheer and pick up one last gift before our trip ended. The next morning, we took the included transfer with Trafalgar to Zurich, said goodbye to our amazing travel director Gerwin, and left the bus one last time. If you have missed the first 2 parts of this tour, please go back and watch them. It was such a great trip. This is Shirley with Shirley's Journeys, and I hope all of your journeys are pleasant ones.